Hello, this is PV Magazine Live from the Smarter E2024. I'm Maria Maisch, Energy Storage News Director, and I'm joined here by Paul McCusker, Fluence EMEA President. Paul, welcome.
Hey, nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, Fluence is one of the world's leading battery energy storage system integrators. Can you tell us something about the company's supply chain partners and its current project pipeline?
Fluence is the first energy storage company. We're a 6-year-old company now. We've been scaling rapidly over the last few years. We work with supply chain partners in Asia, in China, and elsewhere in the world. A lot of our supply chain is anchored in Asia, as is the industry. We work with tier one providers, and we've built up a large team in China over the last few years to work more closely with those suppliers, influencing how they manufacture, develop the quality standards they work to for the products that they're building for Fluence. The supply chain, there's a lot more suppliers now in the mix on the battery side. A lot of new suppliers. We've typically worked with the tier one. We're starting to work more deeply with some of the others to evaluate them, and as they get to manufacturing quality standards, we expect to bring in more and more new supply options for batteries into the products that we bring out to our customers globally.
Where is Fluence's manufacturing based today, and are there any expansion plans on the cards?
We started manufacturing out of Vietnam, and then about 18 months ago, we established a facility in the US. US very focused on local content. We're actually the first to establish a local content full supply there of batteries and our product. We're offering that today to our customers in the US. So over time, it's our strategy to regionalize our supply chain. We've also now shifted our focus to Europe and our regionalization plans for Europe. Over the last few years, we were a really early partner with Northvolt, and we work with them and other local manufacturers as they come on stream, typically over the next 2 years plus, to bring together and build up the supply chain in Europe. So we fully expect to take it may be incremental steps as opposed to like a big bang approach, because all the components aren't there. But from the next 2 years on, we start to see battery supply in Europe coming on stream, and we'll be first. We're already embedded there, working with a number of partners to bring a European product to our customers here. We actually see a lot of customer demand for more localized products. There was, if we remember back to 2 years ago, the risk we seen when we had the supply chain disruption. At that time, we were talking about supply chain resilience, logistics risk, and even just scarcity of supply. Very different to the dynamics today, but we think it's important to build a more resilient supply chain over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Very exciting plans. And when we talk about technology choices in the EMEA region, what can you discern there? What are the customers after as compared to other parts of the world?
Yes. Over the last 12 months or so, density has been a factor in the industry generally. Everybody's trying to see how to come on out with products to get more density in. Land is generally more expensive in Europe than in some other places. We're working in more dense environments, so a denser product is something we heard from our customers. We brought out a product recently with 5 megawatt hour plus and a block size. So that's one thing. One of the things that's a bit different maybe in Europe to the Americas, for example, or even other parts of Asia, noise. Permitting requirements are just a bit more onerous. Noise, where our customers are deploying systems in closer proximity to communities, and the noise standards can be a bit more onerous. So we feed that into our product design, and over time we work to bring a holistic product with profiles that meet that noise requirement for our customers here. Fire safety is also a factor as we're bringing out more, as we're deploying storage in closer to communities similar to the noise. There's more, and rightly so, more rightly focus on safety. Safety's a value for Fluence. We always put safety first. It's in our DNA as a company. We do extensive burn tests on our product. And we work with communities. When we bring storage to a new market or a new community, we engage and we share our knowledge. We engage with stakeholders and communities and on fire responsiveness and these sorts of things. So there are some characteristics there that are different, just given the density that we have in European markets.
And so battery prices have been on a downward trajectory, but what is your outlook there? What do you expect in terms of prices?
Yeah, it's like we mentioned a moment ago about the scarcity 2 years ago. We saw prices rise, which was against the long-term curve. It was a disruptive period. Since then, obviously, in the last 12 months, we've seen a 50% reduction in the battery component. And that's been welcomed. I think it's allowed the industry to some more markets to open faster. It's allowed a movement to longer duration. We've seen 4-hour systems now being deployed in quite a few European markets, which is great.
Which ones, for example?
We've 4-hour systems now being deployed in Ireland. We see 4-hour systems coming in places like Belgium. Customers evaluating longer duration in Italy, in Poland. A number of markets now starting to, perhaps with the lower prices, maybe move a little bit faster to longer, the 4-hour systems, which is great. We don't foresee, and I think most of the analysts are saying, we don't see the same trajectory of price declines on the battery component in the next 12 months. A more stabilized environment, perhaps more modest declines. Initially this was, the change in the lithium price, but more recently it's about oversupply in China and, EV demand shifting to stationary storage. So, that has had a larger impact in the near term on prices. But there's a normalization here over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And but it's not all good news. We hear also about project delays. Some in the EMEA region delayed even well beyond 2030. So what are the reasons behind this? And if you can, through that, also identify maybe top 3 challenges that need to be addressed for the energy storage rollout in Europe to continue as it should.
Yeah, over the last 12 months, with roughly 25 active projects. If we take that sample, almost 20 of those projects were delayed in some way, small or large. Some small, but some significant due to interconnection delays. So we see interconnection delays happening across most markets in Europe, and that's having an impact. So it impacts the customer, it impacts us, and just the industry generally. So that's one factor. Another element is transformer availability. Lead times seems to be a stubborn problem that's not that can hold up projects as well, or take longer lead times. Often we find ourselves we can deliver a lot faster, and it's the transformer component or the grid connection that's holding things up. The other challenge, I think, is just coming back to the earlier point about the resilience of our supply chain. We see customers and specific markets where they're advocating and they really want European standards. They want ESG standards. They want cybersecurity standards, the safety standards we talked about. And that's really important to create a safe and secure energy system for the future. So we need more attention on that. The US is going one way with their approach with the IRA and the incentives that they're in there. And we don't advocate for a similar scheme for Europe. We have a different set of circumstances, but we do believe we need to set the standards at the right level and make sure we're working to create that safe, secure energy system in Europe, which is also affordable for customers. And there's work to do there from a clean tech, European clean tech industrial policy perspective, to especially in light of the change in the US. It can pull demand, it can pull supply chains. We need to have a more structured approach here in terms of, and not outsource our entire supply chain. it's important to have a resilient, safe and secure system.
Absolutely. Thank you for your insights, Paul.
That's great. Happy to be with you. Thank you.